Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I just wanted to share something, and I know, especially those that are oppressed, that many times you would think that there are going to be many that will understand your pains and many that will support you. But then you discover that many were waiting for you to fall so they could start snatching you here and there, trying to rise over you in order to say that they are beyond. Now, the pains will grow stronger and stronger in our hearts, especially when we're going through lots of hardships. It could be divorce, it could be death, it could be so many different things that we just did not expect they would go that direction. We're human beings and we have so many different things that can happen in our life. And I wanted to point out this ayah. Within this ayah is really that connection to bring you to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as the one to really give you that therapy, that healing, that promise that you will be saved. And this is Surah Alam Nashrah Laka Sadrak. Surah Al-Sharh, although I'm not going to give the exact interpretation, exegesis for the ayah, but the inspiration from that ayah when the Prophet ﷺ himself was going through all the prosecution that he was facing when he was calling for the haqq. He was attacked personally, his family was attacked, the ones to support him were attacked. He was feeling that he had no one that was there to support him. And even those that were supporting him were now dropping one after another. When you look at this surah, it gives us that inspiration in where it says, Alam nashrah laka sadrak. That moment when you feel that your heart is closed on you, when you feel you can't even breathe, when you feel the way the whole world closed up on you, and you feel that you can't even make a complete breath, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is there to tell you, just like the Prophet ﷺ, where he tells him, were we not the ones to open up your chest, to really grasp the air, to fully breathe it? Although it's a metaphor, but there's actually a literal meaning to it, in where when calamities happen, you would feel that everything just locked up on you. And even those that you had expected them to support you are right now snatching from you. Remember, Allah Almighty, when He said, aren't we the ones to actually open up your own chest? Aren't we the ones to bring about that air that you were one time grasping for when many were against you and trying to snatch from you? وَوَضَعْنَا عَنْكَ وِزْرَكَ, and put down and laid and covered and had forgiven you all the sins. Just the inspiration from this, in where when everything in the whole world closes on you, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells you the biggest pressure on your heart is really sin. But Allah Almighty promised that He will wipe your sins, but you want to hang on to His power rather than focus on your weakness. It's all about change in the perspective, rather than focusing on your weakness, to focus on Allah Almighty's power. And remember that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will not change your situation unless you change what is within yourself. And on top of changing what is within yourself, is actually changing your perspective, your view of angle, and how you perceive yourself and how you perceive power. And instead of focusing on the angle of weakness, which is your weakness during that moment of dilemma, you focus on the angle of power, which is Allah Almighty. And to mainly see the weakness within your sin, and then look into Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's power to forgive you. الذي أنقض ظهرك. And that sin is actually the most thing that you want to focus on, and not the dilemma that you're in. Why not? Because that's what will actually burden you the most. But as for the problem, as for the hardship that you will be thinking about, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told you, Inna Allah yudafa an alladhina amanu. Don't worry about all those that will try to ruin your reputation, that will try to put you down in all their effort to totally wipe you away, and especially if it's a narcissist personality that's trying to take away every honor that you might have, trying to wipe away every single part and piece of you. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling you, focus on one thing, Allah Almighty's power. And that's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was changing the view. It's Allah Almighty that you want to grasp for, that you want to seek to give you air, that you want to seek to give you an opening to your problems, that you want to seek to uplift your hardship. What you want to focus on is, remember, Allah Almighty. And that's why Allah Almighty says, وَرَفَعْنَا لَكَ ذِكْرَكَ, telling the Prophet ﷺ, and your name becomes the most high, the most elevated above all. When others are trying to put your reputation down, to try to wipe away your dignity and try to somehow condescend you in many different ways, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told you, don't worry about that. Don't let that be your focus, because your Lord Almighty will be the one to elevate your name up high. Don't go low when others go low in their manners and morality. You stay up high living in taqwa. And that's why Allah Almighty says, إِنَّ اللَّهَ يَأْمُرُ بِالْعَدْلِ وَالْإِحْسَانِ. Allah Almighty orders for justice and good. At the end of the day, when others get away from justice, you get to the second level of ihsan. Does that mean I have to forgive? You don't necessarily have to forgive. But at the end of the day, remember to live on taqwa. And remember that Allah Almighty will be the one to elevate your name, to elevate your dignity, to elevate you on one condition. You live your taqwa. And that's why He said, إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي. On one condition, that you would abstain. When people go low, you don't go low in your morality, even when they might somehow live in munkar, in oppression, or il-fahsha, or even in illicit morality, or even in any type of aggression. You don't live in that. You don't live like their akhlaq. You don't practice their akhlaq. يَعِظُكُمْ لَعَلَّكُمْ تَذَكَّرُونَ. This is just a reminder. And remember, you live that taqwa, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will elevate your name. Inna Allah yudafi alladhina amanu. Your Lord Almighty is the one that defends the believers. So don't worry about working hard to defend yourself. Doesn't mean you don't have to defend yourself, but it's just to tell you, let your focus be somewhere else. Because at the end of the day, فَإِنَّ مَعَ الْعُسْرِ يُسْرًا. Allah Almighty guarantees. As for the dunya problems, He promised you, don't let that be your focus. Because for every single dilemma, there's always an ease. It's not just an one ease, but Allah Almighty told you with that same. And that's why it was identified with an L, to identify it's one dilemma, but there are so many. And the Yusra was actually not defined because it's actually telling you many doors of ease to come. Those many doors of ease to come were only to tell you that Allah Almighty will test you with one hardship, but look up and look forward and be hopeful that your Lord Almighty is above all, and He will bring you many and many and many eases. Don't worry about trying to defend yourself. Your Lord Almighty will be the one to defend you and bring you many eases. So, what should I do? He told you, فَإِذَا فَرَغْتَ فَانْصَبْ. If you finish from one good deed, fansab, stand up to do another good deed. Raise yourself up. Be determined. Be strong. Be confident. Don't let those that want to distract you get what they want. So how do I hang on? I'm still broken. I'm still hurt. What do I do? Allah Almighty told you, get your power from dhikr. وَإِلَىٰ رَبِّكَ فَارْغَبْ. And to your Lord Almighty, turn to seek all the good things that your Lord Almighty has for you. All the powers, all the energy. فَارْغَبْ. Seek the power, seek the energy, seek the authority, seek the help, seek Hasbunallah wa ni'mal wakeel. Seek your Lord Almighty, and He will give you Isharh. He will uplift all those pressures off your heart. He will uplift all those pressures that are probably making not only your heart pressure, your ear, your eyes full of tears, and your ears losing focus but only hearing the screams and probably the pains and the trauma that other people have caused. When you're trapped in such trauma, remember Allah Almighty left the door of sharh, the door of inspiration, the door of aspiration, the door to healing, the door of breathing, the door to answering the dua in Allah Almighty. Now turn to Allah Almighty with dhikr. If you are feeling that closeness, you're feeling that you're locked up, repeat Surah Al-Sharh as your ruqya to help you heal, to help you remember that Allah Almighty will eventually break all those hardships, break all those cages of trauma that you might be living in. And Allah Almighty will eventually break all the usr and make you live in ease. Be patient. And Allah Almighty, as in Sahih al-Bukhari, Allah Almighty, as in Sahih al-Bukhari, that Allah Almighty might put you in a hardship because Allah Almighty longs for your voice or to your voice when you say Ya Rab, Ya Rab. He longs to hear your voice saying, Ya Allah, O my Lord, O my Lord. But remember, when that voice comes with all the weakness that you are in, and you strive, you call out unto Allah Almighty, that's when it's most sincere. Don't complain to human beings because they are as weak as you are. Don't complain to people. When you complain to people, you're just complaining to people that are as weak as you are. But the only reason why you may see them strong is because they happen to wear a mask that's covering their wounds. But the reality is, humans are still humans, and humans have their weaknesses. But when you reach out to Allah Almighty, you know very well that Allah Almighty is Allahu Akbar. You know the Lord Allah Almighty is beyond all weaknesses, and He is the greatest. Assalamu alaikum.